we just made $1 million in a month. Why am I grinding at a 9 to 5? Or like, why am I even working at all? What's the most orders you've had in a day?
You guys just sit around with the phone in the middle dinging. Just like everybody's smiling.
Ultimate dopamine, like ding, ding. Do you feel rich now?
Money talks, let's keep it real.
All right, welcome back to Money Talks.
How we doing?
Today we got my boy Yorgi, founder of MANSSION men's jewelry. So yeah, first of all, I just want you to introduce yourself a little.
No, my name's Yorgi, from Southern California. Met Jesse, what did we meet, like a year ago? 2 years ago.
2, 3?
Yeah.
Time kind of goes fast.
I'm a co-founder and the creative director for a men's jewelry brand called MANSSION, which stands for Man on a Mission. We've been in business now for about 3 years officially. The concept's been about 4, and we've had some really good early success.
So first of all, how'd you get into men's jewelry? Because I think that's a pretty like niche thing.
Yeah.
I personally don't wear any jewelry.
Yeah.
A lot of guys do, a lot of guys don't. But how'd you fall into that?
Yeah, that's half the battle. So it's funny. My partner, who was just a friend at the time, I took him to a hockey game. He's like, "Hey, me and my best friend are starting up a company. Like, what do you think of this?" And there was something just like in me at the time was like, he's like, "We're starting up a men's jewelry brand." I was like, "Screw it. Like, let me join. Like, I think I can add a lot of value. Like, you always tell me I have good style. Like, let's see where this goes." And at that time, I was very kind of like caught in the 9 to 5 monotonous work. I kind of like could see how my life was going. And I worked in the liquor industry, which isn't a bad industry to work in. Like, I was doing fun things, but I was like, I just have to climb the corporate ladder. Like, is this really what I wanted? Is this really what I want to do? And we just, after that, it was history. And, as far as men's jewelry goes, yeah, it is half the battle is, like you said, not a lot of people wear men's jewelry, but it is catching fire. And yeah, we just had really early good success. Both my partners are like fucking grinders. Like, they lose sleep just like I lose sleep. Someone's working on MANSSION 24/7, whether it's me, him, me, Firas, or Tori, and then our manufacturers overseas, our customer service agent in the Bahamas. Like, someone's constantly working on it. It's like a living, breathing, growing thing.
It's cool to work with friends like that.
Yeah.
So how is that? Like, you hear kind of like really good stories and really kind of horror stories of people working with friends and how that pans out. How's your experience been? So basically the three of you were best friends.
Me and Frost were just friends. I never had met my other partner at the time, Tori.
Okay.
And then so when Frost brought me to Tori's like, what is this kid gonna add? Type of deal. So that's how that relationship.
So you have to like
started.
prove yourself.
Yeah, essentially. But after we all realized like what we're about and like what we're all capable of doing, and we all kind of fell into our spaces. Like, I took on kind of the branding, designing. Frost has his hands in kind of everything as a CEO. And then Tori, he has a really amazing story. He used to be a cop, but he quit being a cop and just dove into advertising, and is now like one of the best advertisers in the industry. Like, it's insane. His story is pretty wild, but working together, there's growing pains. Like, you're looking at a brand that's starting out, and you three all think you have the correct answer, when all 3 answers are probably wrong. But you all have to like agree on something.
Yeah.
It's just like a relationship, and we definitely were fighting, but at the end of the day, like, we all had each other's back, and we all wanted this to be a successful company.
How'd they get the idea to do men's jewelry?
I think it just was like they had a list of things written down, and it was like branded Tupperware for like, going to the gym and just like random stuff. And then they came across men's jewelry, and then we all kind of wore jewelry too. So it just made sense. And we were looking at the options out there, and it was like, you can either get bullshit stainless steel, like right off the shelf, like nothing custom, or there was like David Yurman, which a lot of people can't afford. So we were like, all right, let's come in, meet in the middle, and just build out a really dope brand, things we like, and make custom pieces that are high quality at affordable price.
I like the way of kind of coming up with business ideas, like of just like exactly that, like Tupperware for the gym, like anything you can think of that doesn't exist. And then like once you have the 100 ideas on the paper, you're like, which are the best 10? Which is the best one?
Yeah.
Because people just like think for years about like, what should I do? What's the best business? And really like that's flush out all your ideas and then just pick the best. And if that's not good enough, do it again, you know?
Yeah. And to your point, like I know I keep saying it, like men's jewelry, like isn't that popular, but we all gravitated towards it. And we're like, let's make a dope men's jewelry brand. Because we couldn't really find one at the time. Like I'm sure everyone's heard of like a Jackson, but they were small and hadn't really carved out their brand yet. So we're like, all right, like we can actually like do something here. And like Jackson's a competitor, but you know, we're speaking to two different demographics. So that was, yeah, that's how it got started.
And how big is the company now? Like you said, some employees overseas, you have your manufacturer, like how many employees?
We have, so we're the only 3 true employees to MANSSION right now.
Okay.
But we have a social media agency. We have multiple suppliers across the world. We have suppliers overseas in Asia. We have suppliers in Italy. We have suppliers in downtown LA. We have photographers that we work with. We have models that we use constantly. So it's like I said, it's pretty big now. And as far as growth, like our first year in business, we did just under $1 million. Our second year, we tripled that. Third year, we tripled that. This year, we're on pace to do that, maybe coming a little bit less, but we're going to be a lot more profitable. Like being a healthy business is very important to us.
Hold on, you've tripled every year since you started?
Yeah.
So it's 27 million?
No, so yeah, no. So we did so we did 8 or 900,000, and then we got into like 2.4, 2.7, and then we did like in the high 6 last year, and then this year we're skyrocketing again.
Amazing.
But our main focus is having a healthy business because I've been saying top line's a fugazi. Like, it means nothing if you're not profitable. So this year we really focused on being profitable. I will say though, every single year we've been profitable and had a strong EBITDA, which is really important.
And so, okay, so that's amazing. You're selling 8 figures of men's jewelry.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So what do you think the biggest factors in your growth getting up to whatever number it is, 20 million a year in jewelry now?
Few things. Creating a unique brand that people can relate to, quality pieces so you get repeat customers. Like that's always important, especially as advertising is getting more expensive. And content. Content is king. Pushing out content, trying all different types of content, seeing what works, and then doubling down on that content.
And so the content thing is really important for you. It's almost like a whole media arm of your business, right? Like
100%.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, I wish Story is here because he would, that's all he like talks about is content. We need content.
Yeah.
We need to put money towards content.
Literally every company has now become a media company.
Exactly.
Every brand, like you can't get away with just like being cool.
Yeah. No, exactly. So, and then I preach like brand and just quality is like my biggest thing. Like I want your experience to be like awesome from, going on the website to getting the package to, leaving us a review. Like everything needs to look premium. So you feel comfortable buying things from us, not just the first time, but the second, third, or fourth, especially as like we have customers that will start out with beaded bracelets and now they're buying solid gold chains. So you see the customer journey and that's really important to us.
Mm-hmm. So they like resonate with the brand, not just like buy something. It's like they keep coming back.
Exactly.
They stay within your ecosystem.
Exactly. And then we push out really unique designs within the industry. Like we make the jewelry industry flinch a little bit in terms of they wait to see what we're coming out with and then they'll copy us. Like we have multiple big name jewelry brands copying us all the time.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, no, it is a good sign, which is nice because that means they're always playing catch up.
Yeah.
So.
And okay, so you mentioned profitability. You guys bootstrapped it, right? You haven't raised any money?
This is the craziest part. So we're in the middle of a raise right now, just because we kind of have to, we have our first raise because we have some pretty lofty goals we want to hit and we can't get there without like an abundance of money. But we each put in $5,000. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the craziest part. And we turned it into our first year, like I said, like $900,000.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is really wild.
Yeah.
So you've basically, I mean, a lot of like consumer goods brands, especially like the newer ones, they raise a ton of money. They just go hyper growth. They don't care if they lose money. It's like acquire people, acquire users, acquire customers at any cost. So you obviously haven't done that, but you've still grown pretty fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Are your margins really big on your products? Like
our margins are healthy. They're not insane,
Yeah.
We try to stay in between, 60 to 80% margins. But it's just our efficiency. Like I said, it doesn't cost anything to get that repeating customer because they're already introduced to the brand. So that goes back to making a quality product. But yeah, like you got to have healthy margins. Like when starting out any brand, you got to know like, what things are going to cost you. So, but it was a learning process, man. Like there was times like when we were like, all right, this like company might not work out. Like not everything is easy. Like, last year we got like our ass kicked because we had about $80,000 worth of gold chains at our 3PL. People didn't use gloves. They were hitting hand sanitizer with it, like rubbing their hands with it. And then, kitting our stuff and our gold chains would tarnish. So it's like stuff like that's not in your control.
Yeah, you're like, what? Who would think of that?
And then guess who doesn't want to pay for it? That company. So it's like stuff like that. But I mean, it's all part of the process.
What have been some of those moments where you're like, oh damn, this might not actually work, or like we're in trouble? Was it early on or recently? Or
it happens every 8 months. Like, I mean, as much money as we make.
Yeah.
Like, we're never like, we can go get money because of how well we're doing, but we don't want to give up a bunch of equity.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to lose like our percentage, our control. So
it's smart the way you guys did it because you didn't raise money to grow to 20 million in revenue. And now you can get a massive, a $20 million company that's profitable can raise a serious.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't hit 20 mil yet. I think we'll get there in the next year.
We round up on money talks.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, man, I mean, but I will say this every time, and this is what's awesome about my team, is that every time we face adversity, we come out leaner and like smarter and stronger. Like our best times are when our backs are against the wall. And I know that's like, we're different, but like this team is actually like pretty wild. So
what do you think you guys do that other companies don't do to stay profitable? Like you mentioned, it's just the 3 co-founders that are like full-time employees. Is that kind of in it?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, well, here we go. We all still have full-time jobs. we don't pay each other unless we have good months.
Oh, so, wow.
We all still have full-time jobs, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the first 2 years, like we were just pushing money back into the company. I mean, so you got to think about it. Let's say like if we wanted to pay each other, $2,000 each in that first year, that's $6,000 that could have gone towards product. That $6,000 could have easily turned into $40,000. So that was a big thing. Like we weren't taking any money from the company. We just recently started doing it with this past year, but we have to have good months. Like there's still some months we don't pay each other, but it's
just like you guys decide like, okay, we had a good month. We'll each take a few $1,000s off the table, like little shots kind of.
Yeah. I mean, and luckily we all work in industries. Like I love my 9 to 5. I'm like in the cannabis industry and I brand cannabis brands and I rebrand them. Like that's awesome to me.
Okay. Yeah. I thought you were full-time. I thought you had left.
No, we still do. No,
that's impressive.
Yeah. No, I mean, maybe that's why I don't have a girlfriend because I'm just working all the time. But yeah, it's a trip. But I would say just put everything back into the company and you'll see the growth. Because like I said, that $6,000 could potentially turn into $30,000, $40,000.
Is the plan now when you raise money that you guys all go full-time and take salaries and that kind of thing?
We're still like, honestly, that's up for a discussion. Like I love my 9 to 5. Like it's like creating a cannabis brand is like sick to me.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like my company will come and be like, Yorgi, we need a vape, or we need you need to redesign this packaging. Like that's awesome to me. And they pay me pretty well. So MANSSION would have to come knocking with a pretty big check. But in all reality, to your point, when I'm taking on someone else's money and they're expecting like me to grow that business and they're like giving me a nice salary, then yeah, I'll probably go full-time MANSSION.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, everyone's always surprised with that. Like,
yeah, because it's so big at this point. Like,
it's wild. But I mean, what's cool about it too, like I said, I was in liquor sales, but MANSSION had paid me in the sense of I could go into branding and marketing now. So I didn't have to do sales anymore. So in a way it already paid off, but MANSSION's the end goal. MANSSION will be how I pay my grandkids tuition. So,
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. So like,
you're not worried about today's money.
No, not at all.
You're worried about the long thing.
Exactly.
How do you not? Okay. And so you recently just launched Blank Label, another company.
Yeah.
That's men's clothing.
Yep.
So you got the 9 to 5 MANSSION, Blank Label. Your partners also have 9 to 5s. How do you balance all the, like, does it not get distracting having so many focuses?
So everything lines up with each other. With Blank Label, like, love that brand. But my supplier with our jewelry company, her sister was one of the biggest clothing manufacturers overseas. I already know how to package. I already know how to design. Tori already knows how to advertise. Faraz already knows email, text message, website. So it's just kind of plug and play. So it's like I could be working on MANSSION for 2 hours a day, then I can go to Blank Label, and it's not like I'm still like at my computer just kind of doing the same stuff.
So it's almost like a new product line within the company.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. So, and we're all in the same group text, so it's just going back and forth. And they've even started their own agencies off of email and text message. And Tori just started his own advertising agency with Blake.
Oh,
so, and they're super successful. So it all lines up within each other.
And then it's like the agency stuff, I guess, like you're trying stuff, learning from doing it for MANSSION, apply it to other people's companies once you know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all kind of keeping with that flywheel helps.
Yeah. But it's one thing I think it's challenging is like not losing motivation. Like, cause stuff gets hard, you know, and like just taking kind of control of the situation. Like you're going to have tough days, and then you're gonna have more tough days, and then you have a little bit of success, and you have another tough day right after that, but then you'll have some major success. Like the little wins to me are just as important as the big wins because they keep me motivated. So
what would be like a little win versus a big win or for you? Like what gets you excited?
So like the top line or like our first year when we hit like 900K, right? Like that's a big one, right? Like that's awesome. But to me, and I told my boy Colin from, I'm sure you know him, Lovesick.
I've seen the hats.
Yeah,
you
the
guys
hats.
wearing them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The one piece of advice I can get him, the little wins are one a day. Get one order a day. Like just concentrate on that. That's a little win. That's a little win. Get one order a day from someone that you don't know. Like those are all little wins. And then I'm sure for someone like him, seeing his hat on OBJ was pretty impressive. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's just stuff like that. Like that keeps you motivated.
Isn't it crazy how numbers compound? Like when you start, like
Exactly.
you're like 900K. That's insane. Like, you know, when I was like 20 and I was like, oh man, like I literally remember when I had my cookie company, which is like my first business. And I was like, if I could make 100K with this company, I'm like set for life. Like that's what I thought when I was like 21, 22. And it's like crazy how the numbers change. And now you're talking about selling, you know, 8 figures in a year, and it's like you're not even bad at. You're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no, it's wild. But you know what's kind of wild too is like, I've been able to rub elbows with a lot of people in the e-commerce world, like the founders Pura Vida and Movement and Blake, and like they've had $100 million exits. So it's like, that's humbled me because it's like, what is $900,000 to a $100 million company? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, you've all had to like, they all took those steps. Like, I think we will get there one day, 100%. And I'm just trying to enjoy the ride. Like, I get to wake up every day and say, okay, I get to design jewelry, or I get to, like quarterback a photo shoot. I get to go brand account. Like, that's a win to me.
Yeah. I mean, if you're at 8 figures revenue and you're profitable, I think you're pretty close to a 9-figure exit if you wanted it.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like, we're like talking to VCs now, and they're like amazed that it's just us three and that we've been able to do this.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Is that the goal? Like, would the goal be to sell the company, or would the goal be to continue growing it and keep it forever?
The goal is to sell eventually, but we have milestones we want to hit. Like, I don't think we're going to we're not going to accept an exit for anything less than 100. But you know what? Write me a check for 70 mil and we could be having a different conversation. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you're like, I'm standing on that until I'm not.
Yeah, listen, I can be bought. I can be bought.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you see as success? Because I'm always interested in what people like, to some people being like 900K, to a lot of people, 900K a year in revenue is insane.
Yeah.
And then to like, now you're doing however many times, 20 times that. Yeah. And it's like, what to you is success? Does that keep moving, or?
Are we talking just monetary?
In life,
I'm very different. Like, I'm very chill. Like, to me, success is being comfortable and being happy. And listen, man, if we exit, no one's probably going to hear from me ever again. I'm going to Bali and I'm chilling.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to Bali and I'm chilling. And whether that's in a 4-bedroom little hut or 10-bedroom mansion, like I'm chilling and like I just want to be comfortable and be happy. And I want to retire. I have a goal of retiring by the time I'm 38.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty specific. Why 38?
Just I don't know. It's just like 37, 38. I said 37. I think hopefully I'll be able to exit one of these companies at 38.
How old are you now?
What?
How old are you?
32.
Okay.
So yeah, 6 years. And
you got time.
yeah, like if I exit Mansion, I could work on Blank Label. Like awesome. Like Blank Label is a passion project. We've had just launched like 8 days ago, and we've had insane success for for 7 days. But the grind really starts right after your friends and family stop supporting you.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Like I'm on the 1 a day method. Like I'm giving myself the own advice. I'm sitting there checking my Shopify, looking at my website, 0 visitors. I'm like, all right, like these ads got to get going. I got to get 1 a day. I got to go look back and make sure pricing on the website's right, all that stuff. So that's a challenging part because with Mansion, I had to look at everything from a creative director eye. As with Blank Label, I'm looking at everything from a CEO eye. So I can't just be putting out tight shit. Like I got to sell what I have first. I can't just be like pushing money into like dope photo shoots. Like this business needs to be profitable. So
it's a separate business, separate entity from Mansion.
Yeah, but I brought on the same partners.
Okay.
So it's cool. It's like a rinse and repeat. And like, I wouldn't have done it without bringing on Tori and Faraz, and then even my partner Bo, who is, I think you met Bo, retired NFL or NHL. And the business wouldn't exist without him. Like we were sitting drinking wine one night, and I was like, we were just talking about like what we want to do, and I was like, dude, I've always wanted to start a clothing company. I actually have a name for it. We did it like August 18th, August 19th. He sent me a text. He's like, yo, I just bought the domain for blanklabel.com. Like, let's get it. And after that, it was like off to the races. So
nice. Why Blank Label? Why is that the name?
Honestly, I was just like, I'm just so over just these brands that just die on cool names or like just trying to live on like some like dope name. And I was like, I just want to start just a blank label. Like it doesn't even have to have a name. And then it kind of clicked. I was like, oh, Blank Label. Like there you go.
It's like the no name brand.
Yeah.
Is that in one of the grocery stores? And it's literally just says no name.
Yeah.
And it's like yellow boxes. And it's like by not having branding, it's actually the best branding.
Exactly. I was like, I don't even want to have a name on like a blank label because I'm confident on the quality of the clothes I'm going to make. And then I was like, all right, like that's a cool name. And then I just kind of messed with the wording and there you go.
So starting from scratch, like how does that look right now? Because it's like what are the things you're doing to like get that 1 a day to kind of just like get those little sales that eventually become.
So yeah, my biggest thing was I didn't want to be, so we put out hats, we put out crew necks, we put out t-shirts, and we put out shorts. Like I didn't want to be known for like just being a hat company. Like I wanted to kind of like throw out just everything that's just great. Everything's amazing quality. Let me just say that everything's custom, but something's going to rise and something's going to fall.
You can show the hat on the camera.
Oh, yeah, there you guys go. Yeah.
Is it? Uh-huh.
Like
looks
even like
great,
the measurements on, like the measurements, like from here to here are custom.
All the custom
the
inside.
thickness in the bill, like all that, it's all custom. But yeah, like my biggest thing was like, there's going to be a hero product, like whether it's our shirts are awesome, custom cuts. So getting back to the 1 a day, it was like, all right, my biggest issue would be don't run out of inventory, right? You run out of inventory, everything stops.
Mm-hmm.
So we over ordered on inventory. And it's just, again, putting out content and seeing what works. And then I'm kind of trying to see what works right now. For right now, it's product shots of like the hat. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go double down on product shots now. So, but it's a grind. Like today is the first day actually that I haven't had a sale. Still praying. We got, 7 more hours, but like since we launched, which is awesome, but like, it's like, all right, today's when it starts,
And versus, Mansion, how many sales a day you got a Mansion? Does anyone have the Shopify on their phone where it's like dinging all day?
Yeah. Oh, I have it. I've been trying to figure out a way to put 2 separate sounds.
The ultimate dopamine, like ding, 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 ding all day.
It is. It really is. But now I get like, shit, for every 70 Mansion rings, I get 1 Blank Label ring. If that, like,
what's the most orders you've had in a day?
Black Friday with Mansion was like, we did like 300 or 400.
Wow.
Nothing like, I'm sure we've done more, probably more actually.
Yeah.
That month we almost hit 1 million. Like,
Wow.
Selling jewelry. Like
What's it's wild.
Yeah.
What's the biggest like around dollars sales in a day? I guess we can figure it out with the 300 or 400, but
Yeah, we got I think we got pretty close to 100K day like last Black Friday. Like it was pretty crazy.
crazy.
Yeah. Nonstop. We were just
That's
loving
a lot
it.
of jewelry.
It's a lot of inventory.
You guys just sit around with the phone in the middle dinging. You're just everybody's smiling.
I mean, okay, here's the crazy part. The first nothing will ever hit like the first Black Friday.
Like the feeling.
The feeling, because you're just like, this is it. Like we did, I think we did like 27K. We're like, wow, this is awesome. And then after that, it's just kind of like, you get used to it. Like you said, you're hitting all these crazy numbers that you're getting used to it. So
how do you guys stay like not only stay grounded but stay focused at your day jobs when you're literally selling millions of dollars of jewelry?
it's hard.
Because like, aren't you here thinking like, damn, we just made $1 million in a month. Why am I grinding? I mean, at a 9 to 5, or like, why am I even working at all? Like,
it's hard. It's hard. I mean, Tori went and started up his own agency. He's like, like that. It really is hard. Like, from his 9 to 5, he went and started his own agency, and it's.
So he has the 9 to 5 and agency and mansion.
Yeah. He just left his 9 to 5.
Okay.
To go start his own agency, and I think his 9 to 5 started paying his agency actually.
Oh, nice.
So there you go. But
he's like, I'm not going to work for you. You're going to work for me,
dude.
Yeah.
I said it. I mean, dude, he's good at his job. Like I said it today. Like, Chat GPT is afraid of him. Like, that's how good he is. But it's hard. I mean, for me too. I think I remember going back, like how miserable I was in sales, liquor sales. I was like out partying, like, and then I have to go to like liquor stores, sell alcohol. Like that sucked. Like
smell alcohol in the morning.
So, like that sucked. And then I'm so grateful for the opportunity I have at my 9 to 5 to be able to just create brands. Like that's my passion. Mm-hmm. So like I don't feel like I'm working.
Like you like it.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Like I like the boys, like we were talking about, like taking money from the VC company. I was like, dude, I don't know if I can quit my 9 to 5. Like, like it's awesome.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow. That's rare.
Yeah.
Usually people are just like the second they have any success, any sales, they quit. Like,
yeah.
I never even had a 9 to 5.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. Yeah. But no, but it is
never
rare.
even started.
I can confidently say that I'm like, besides an athlete, that I'm one of the only people I know that like love waking up and doing what they do. So
that's cool. Would you ever do what your partner did, where like you have your own agency doing what you do, but where you're like, you pay me now? I mean,
I've been asked to consult for a few brands, and I probably will start, but right now, like my main focus is Mansion and Blank Label.
Yeah.
Like I made a promise to those guys starting up the company, like to myself, like I'm going to give it all I got. So I think, taking on other projects right now, especially where the stage at Blank Label's at, would be very irresponsible.
It's really hard, especially in a place like LA. That's what I find. Like I talk to people that are like in smaller towns and whatever. It's so much easier just to like focus when you're not seeing shit every day. That's like flashy new shit. That's like, I feel like here I meet someone new every day that's doing some new cool business. And I'm like, I want to do something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like you kind of can get stuck in this like never, you know what I mean? If you do too many things or never start anything, or like you jump around. So it's like, that's the right attitude where you're like, this is what I want to do. I'm compound this for a long time. Yeah.
I mean, I'm loyal to a fault. Like I really made a promise to myself and my best friend, Bo, and my 2 partners, like I'm going to quarterback this. Like you guys are my generals, but like, this is my main focus for right now.
Yeah. What tools have you guys used in Mansion that like have helped you guys grow, or like any software tools, any tech that you think is like amazing?
That's a really good question. That's for Tori. A lot of my stuff with Mansion is like more natural. It's like, does that look tight? Does it feel quality? Okay. But we are big components on YouTube University. Like go to YouTube, whatever you want to know, whatever you want to learn. Someone's done it before and they'll show you how to do it and you'll save months.
It's crazy how you can just do that now.
Yeah. And like podcasts, like this guy and Twitter, like as much as a negative place Twitter can be, if you find there's like people that, there's tons of people in e-com and they're just doling out advice left and right.
It's crazy how much has evolved in the last few years.
Yeah.
And so I forget what I was gonna. Oh yeah, have you guys done any user generated content stuff?
Yeah,
Marketing wise?
Yeah. I think with everything, it ebbs and flows. Like influencers were hot. I think influencers are gonna take a backseat here real soon because I think, I mean, I'm friends with influencers, so they're gonna kill me when I say this, but influencers are today's politicians. Like everything's paid. Their opinion's paid for. And I think people are catching on to that. UGC was hot, and I think there will be something else after that. Like my biggest thing, like reviews. Like they're gonna tell you, like people will tell you if that product is good right on the website. You know, word of mouth is still very, very popular.
Yeah.
So I'm old school though.
I think the UGC stuff is cool because it like the way the algorithms work now, followers don't matter.
Yeah.
Almost, and your audience doesn't matter because they show everybody this feed of Reels or TikTok that like the people they don't even follow. Yeah. And so then it opens up like, why do we need to pay an influencer with 1 million followers if I can pay John Smith with 0 followers to go post that way less and he might get more views.
Yeah, and it's authentic.
Yeah.
Like people, like that's what I like about UGC. Is
you can take more shots. Instead of having one guy, you can have 1,000 guys and one of them is going to go viral.
Yeah. And exactly. And it's authentic. Like I said, I think people are catching on to influencers that everything's paid. Like your opinion's almost fake at that sense.
Has your growth been very kind of steady, or did you guys have some points where you like did something like a UGC campaign or an influencer campaign that exploded it?
Our growth has been pretty steady. Like nothing I would say has exploded our brand. It was like, it's just been a steady, just uphill, just again, making good quality product, blah, 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 getting those repeat customers. Like that's what it's all about in my eyes.
Is the paid ads and like a newsletter, is that stuff?
Yeah. So paid ads are obviously massive for us, like paid advertising. Like we dole out like $300K a month in paid advertising when we're doing like in the holiday season, like our paid advertising gets up to $300 to $400K a month. Like we're shoving it down your throat on Instagram.
Wow. And that's just becomes a thing where it's like, we know if we put $1 in the machine, we're getting $1.50 out. Let's put as much money as we can.
Exactly. And then we're at the point right now where we got leaner. Like we necessarily weren't relying as much on paid ads as we were. We're not like just shoving money in the funnel. Like we're just like very kind of direct with who we're marketing to now. So we got leaner, dropped the cost of that, and our profitability within the company like skyrocketed.
So if you're profitable and the paid ads work and you put $300K in and you get out $1 million or whatever, why not? How come you didn't raise money earlier or go say, okay, if we're putting $300K and taking out $1 million, why don't we like 100x this?
Yeah, it's just because there's so many factors that come into it. Like, it's like, what is your ROAS, return on ad spend? You know, can you like, we would have to hit like a 2.5 to even live. Like, so if we drop below that, then we're not profitable. So
explain that for a sec. So 2.5 is
so like a 2.5 times return.
Okay.
But we have all these costs up to that 2.5 times return to even be profitable. So really, it's like I don't know. Really
so basically, like if you put $1 into paid ads, you need to sell $2.50 to break even. Because you have manufacturing costs of goods,
exactly,
overhead, all this other
lost
stuff.
Products, lost $80,000 worth of products. You know what I mean, like that type of stuff. So returns get expensive. So it's tricky, man. Like, and I wish we had Tori here because be able to speak to that like very well. But it's a tricky business, and it's not as black and white as that.
Yeah.
Because you really gotta like. That's
already huge scale though. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things I learned when I was like young was like the margin thing. Like I kind of, when I started Cookie Company, I thought like, oh, like, you know, I have like a 40 or 50% margin or something. It's like, cool. So I sell a cookie, I make $1.50. Cool. I just sell. But it's like, I wasn't thinking of all the, you know, they burn a tray, they drop a box off the truck. Exactly. I give samples, like that eats your margin down. Yeah. So some people hear like, oh, you have 60 to 80% margin or whatever you said. And it's like, oh man, they're killing it. They're making, but it's like, there's so many other things.
Exactly. That's why profitability was so important for us this year. Like we were profitable before, we were very profitable, but like shit gets expensive.
Yeah.
So like we need to lean out and get more profitable.
Yeah. And I'm
So
sure you try things like marketing campaigns and stuff that
like
don't always pay off. And
we cut our influencers because we were barely breaking even. It was a lot of effort. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
and then we put that money into better ad creative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or new product drops, you know, bring people back.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. I want to talk about brand for a second. You said the branding, like super important, the details. What are like a couple things that you think have made you guys like really stand out brand wise, or like little details that you're like, I thought of this and it worked?
so packaging, I think it's very premium packaging is like insane. Like you get it. Like you want to feel like what you're paying for is worth the money. Like we're selling $60 beaded bracelets. Like we better give you guys we better give our customer like a nice presentation. Like that's so important to me. And then I think.
So what is the packaging?
I mean, so it just comes like you see it. It's just very nice matte black packaging, sleek packaging. When you buy a solid gold, it's a variation of that, but like all gold, you get a 24 karat gold card, authenticity card. It's not made out of gold, but it's like really nice. That packaging differentiates itself. So it's just like the way you present yourself to your consumer, I think is insanely important as a brand. And then growing with your consumer. What Mansion looked like day one is not what it looks like now. Like it was like a young teenage boy, and then now it's like almost like kind of like a mature man coming into his own. So
Is that on purpose?
like yeah, I mean it grew with the products, I would say. But yeah, I mean I think with anything, like I'm not the same person I was at 15 that I am now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So you got to look at your brand like a person, and it's going to grow and it's going to mature, and you're going to grow with your consumers.
How much do you guys actually talk to customers, or like how many interactions? Like, have you seen someone out wearing your jewelry
all
and
the
been
time.
like, "Yo"?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, like my CEO or my partner, like he was answering customer service emails up until like year 2. Like, so he's very dialed in with like the complaints and all that. And yeah, we see people out all the time. It's funny. We actually, one of the VCs we might take on, we got introduced to him because he saw someone wearing our jewelry out there. And he's like, hey, I'm part of this VC firm. If you guys ever need money, like let us know. And we hit him up 2 years later. So
Nice.
yeah, but we're very in tune. Like we listen to a lot of feedback because they're going to tell you what's wrong with your brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the funniest interaction you've had? Like some complaint or something that just made no sense, or like.
Dude, okay. All right, this is like, so we had this guy who, he sent us back a cuff, and it had something on it that was not chill. We sent it back to Faraz because they got into like a little, I don't think we got into a tiff. Like it was just like, the guy was like complaining, and then he sent it back and he put something on it, and it wasn't chill of human bodily function.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah, we laugh about that. It was just funny. It's like, it's what it is.
So that's the worst. That makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, we get like really like we're very chill with our customers in terms of like, free returns. If you don't like it, like if it gets lost in the mail, we'll send you a new one. If it breaks, we'll send you a new one. And that I would say that moves the needle a bunch too.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, we really like, we fuck with you guys. Like, that's awesome. You guys do that.
Yeah.
They get brand loyal.
Yeah. That's a smart move.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay. So you were saying personally to you, success is just being free, relaxing in Bali,
yeah.
selling the company.
Yeah. I mean, being able to do what I want when I want is successful to me.
Do you feel rich now?
Talk to me the 1st and the 15th. Do I feel rich now? Yeah, I do. In terms of like, I have freedom with my job. I am surrounded by amazing people. I meet amazing people every day. The people I work with are awesome. My suppliers are like my friends, my models that I use for the photo shoots are my friends. Like, yeah, I feel rich. I don't have that many problems right now, and I'm very thankful for it. I'm well aware of it.
When did you start feeling rich? Because I'm asking because I decided I'm going to ask every person on Money Talks,
no,
do you
that's-
feel rich? If so, when did you start feeling
Yeah,
rich?
dude,
If
that's
not,
what-
when do you think you're going to feel rich?
Yeah, no.
Because it's such a funny subjective thing where like I literally know people who have like no money, no, you know, and they feel rich, they act rich. And I know people who have like hundreds of millions of dollars and they're stressed out all the time and
Yeah.
they're like trying to catch up to someone else. And it's like, it's not a numbers thing.
It's not
a money thing.
No,
even,
it's
you
that
know?
Bob Marley quote. I think it was. He's like, "Money makes me a rich man," and he's like, "Money doesn't make me a rich man." And I that's always stuck out to me because I'm healthy, I'm happy, but in terms of like with Mansion, I felt rich the day that I was able to leave my sales job and go pivot that job or pivot Mansion into a branding job. Like that's when I was like, I actually like what I'm doing. I like what I'm doing, and I'm not miserable. So.
You're rich.
Yeah, I'm rich. Yeah.
I like it. All right, man. Thank you for coming on,
appreciate
spitting
it.
some knowledge. Yeah.
Try.
Yeah, I ain't really got a flex. Been putting work in, so you know what to expect.